It's time for the Donovan Live postgame show here on WKYC's Facebook Live, along with Jimmy Donovan. I'm Dave DeNatale.
Happy birthday, boy.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Can't believe I made it to, age 29. No, I'm 43 today.
43 years old.
Today.
All right.
Yeah.
You should never duck your age. You should be very proud of your age.
I should be?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm 61 years old.
You wouldn't know it. 61
years old.
So I'm going to embrace 43. All right. Just like, Mike Pruitt used to be 43.
Now we're going to line up all the women who work here at Channel 3, and they'll give you their height, weight, and their age.
Yes.
Come up, everybody.
Come on. Because they'll do that.
Yeah.
All right. We'll get to the Browns being back in and a couple of the headlines that you guys brought up on the show in a second. But I want to start on Twitter, and my man David Herberton is going to pull it up for us. We got a tweet from Molly. And she says, I was watching A Football Life on Jim Kelly, a big Bills fan here. Molly from The Rock, as in, I guess, Rochester. I couldn't help but notice your awesome calls played in the background. You used to call the Bills games? #GoBills.
No, I did call a lot of Bills games, but I did it on NBC. So I think what they were talking about. And the first game I ever did on NBC, my broadcast partner was the great Paul McGuire.
Yes.
Okay, and it was the first game after the strike in '87.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was down in Miami, and it was the Dolphins were playing the Buffalo Bills. So the game was going to, let's say, 20% of the country. Okay. And it was a phenomenal game.
Yes.
Okay. The Bills had really just about turned the corner. And they had that red gun offense going, and they had good defense. And Dan Marino was chucking it all over the ballpark for the Dolphins. And so anyway, and it was called Joe Robbie Stadium then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was the first time the real Dolphins had played in that new stadium.
Yeah.
Okay, because the strike had been going on. So anyway, I'm doing the game, and I mean I was really nervous. And the Bills win the game and Jim Kelly did a quarterback sneak to win the game. But just before he did it, they come in our headphones and they go, all right, the game is going to the entire nation now. Because the game had gone long and it was very competitive. So suddenly we're doing this little regional game. And now we're the only game. Yeah.
We'd like to welcome those of you watching every other game in the country.
And they would say, welcome the country.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So it was great. But I ended up doing a bunch of Buffalo Bills games. So thank you for noticing that.
Yeah.
And I had a great time doing them. They were a lot of them were up in Orchard Park, and the Bills had really turned the corner. And really, if you remember, when they truly turned the corner was in a playoff game here in Cleveland the year before.
Yep.
When they lost, Clay Matthews picked off that pass, but that red gun offense, isn't that what they call it?
Yeah, the red gun, the K-gun.
Remember, the Browns were really blowing them out.
Yeah.
And in the second half, Ted Marchibroda went to this no-huddle K-gun offense, and that's how it was hatched. And remember, Ronnie Harmon dropped a ball that went right through his muddy fingers that would have been the touchdown. It would have given the Bills the lead in the game, and I don't know if the Browns would have had enough time to come back. I don't think so. But that's how it started. And then the next year, I did their opening game on TV, and they opened up against, it was Jeff George's first game.
Oh, wow, for Indianapolis.
He got knocked out of the game with a concussion. And it might have been, who's the linebacker from Cleveland that played for them? Darryl Talley.
Darryl Talley, that's right.
And I think he put a wicked hit on him along with Bruce Smith. And that's when you could tell that the Buffalo Bills had arrived.
They were no joke.
But thank you for noticing that.
So I wanted to bring up, number one, it was great. It was a great tweet. But number two, does it get weird for you? I mean, your voice, obviously, you can go back and listen to your games or whatever, but on Inside the NFL, your voice is there for highlights. On these documentaries, just occasionally, whatever, your voice is there. Does it get kind of like, wow, that's pretty cool?
Yeah,
do you have that kind of, oh, wow, that's a cool moment?
Yeah, it really does. I can, and I remember there was, I don't know if a lot of people know this about me, but I did a lot of soccer at one point. NBC had, they had bought Sports Channel America. It was called at that time, okay? And they owned it, and they had all the rights to the United States national team's games, both men and women. So I ended up calling their games.
Oh, wow.
And so now I was with the United States women's team, Mia Hamm, Julie Foudy, Brianna Scurry, all those people, Michelle Akers.
Yeah.
the team that ended up going to the Olympics, and remember HBO did a documentary about them, and my calls were on that. And I remember they sent me all these legal forms to allow them to use my voice.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
sure.
ahead, use it. Yeah. Incidentally, I still paid for HBO every month.
Oh, yeah,
on my cable bill,
seriously.
which is shocking to Danielle Serino.
Have you been, I know you were in Believe Land. Any other documentaries off the top of your head that you can remember being in, like that were on HBO, ESPN, anything like that?
No, I don't think so, other than the calls.
Yeah,
On them. Yeah,
the calls.
Yeah. The Believe Land one,
Yeah.
Behind the production of that, total time I might have been in, maybe a minute?
Yeah.
Okay. Because they take snippets?
Yeah. They take like
5-hour interview. 5-hour interview with the director.
For 1 minute, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was unbelievable. I remember I did it. I'll just tell you the story. It was on a Monday, and I did the interview. It was over at a hotel in downtown Cleveland, and we're rolling along. We're talking about the drive and the fumble and all this kind of stuff, and Modell moving the Browns, and I am blessed with a pretty good memory.
Yes.
So I mean, I can remember all these things. And the next thing I said to the sound guy, I said, "Do you know what time it is?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's 5:54." And I went, "Oh my goodness! I'm on the 6 o'clock news." So I ran down the street because it was about 4 blocks out. I ran down the street, made the 6 o'clock news barely, and then after that went back and did the rest of the interview.
Yeah, there's you could see, we saw there a second ago. There's the Believe Land. There, just a bevy of the things we'd like to forget.
Yeah, that's right.
From the year, but it was a good. It ended up working out really well for the makers of Believe Land because they got got the championship there like a month after the thing debuted. I've had one claim to fame on a documentary, E60 on ESPN. They followed the first year of the Lake Erie Crushers, the minor league baseball team in Avon. The first year, and I think they still do this. One of the players was staying at a retirement home at the Belvedere in Westlake, and because when you're in minor league baseball, especially at the independent level, you have host families.
Host families.
You don't really make enough to get an apartment for a couple of months. So Josh Faola was the pitcher, and ESPN E60 followed him around during the course of the year. And ended up doing a retrospect at the end of the year. The Crushers won the championship, and they ended up using a couple of my calls. One of which Josh gave up a home run, which I was like, oops, that's not the one. Sorry they used that one. But they also got the one where they won the championship. That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Okay, so now that we've taken our trip back to memory lane, a couple things from today. You and Chris Ty were talking about as the Browns are getting ready to face the Lions back to work today. First thing is first with the NFL. Roger Goodell, is looking to get a new contract, and Jerry Jones reportedly hiring a big name lawyer in David Boyce to put a stop to it.
Well, I mean, this was when you deal with Roger Goodell in the NFL, and of course he works for the owners. Yeah. But it seemed as though that this contract was almost like a rubber stamp deal that was just going to be approved. But, he has some people that were very closely aligned with him. Robert Kraft of the Patriots, Jerry Jones, perhaps the most powerful owner, it seems now, in the NFL, the owner of the Cowboys. And they're saying, hey, as Lee Corso would say, not so fast, my friend. And I think that's what they're saying. I think that they find some fault in what he's been doing, some fault in the way he is judge and jury in these off the field incidents with their particular players, Tom Brady, Ezekiel Elliott, some of the Greg Hardy, some of the other Cowboys that Jerry Jones has brought in that have had problems off the field. So this is, I think this is real. I think Roger Goodell felt that he would have this contract approved months ago.
I'm sure he did
maybe
too.
At the start of the regular season.
Yeah.
And it's not happening. And the longer it goes on, the more you wonder about it. And of course, he's got a number of problems. Yeah. He's got these problems that the NFL is in court a lot. He's got this national anthem thing that they just don't know how to deal with. Yeah. He's got this thing with Colin Kaepernick now with possible collusion. Okay, and he's got low television ratings.
Right.
They had a bad weekend, I think, last weekend. They had an awful Monday night. That ESPN is saying, wow, we're paying $1 billion and we're getting clobbered on Monday night. life was very, very easy and very rich and plentiful for the NFL, and they are hitting on some times right now that are struggling. The Thursday night package is struggling.
Right.
And I think it's oversaturation, Dave.
Right.
That's the big problem.
And I thought that too. I think it's one thing to have Thursday games on Thanksgiving or a Saturday game before Christmas or something, but to me, it's gotten to be a little bit too much.
Yeah. Well, there are just too many windows.
Yeah.
And then when you throw all the college windows in,
right.
I mean, my goodness, Akron played last night.
I know.
Kent State's playing tonight, I think,
yep.
right? So these conferences, and the NFL, of course, being the biggest, they need to find these windows to get on television, and they think if they have a clear window, then they'll get the audience. But I think there's so much football on now during the fall with the college and the pros. And it's just unbelievable. And I really think people are worn out. I know a lot of people now say, you could put me down for a 1 o'clock and a 4 o'clock game, and I might peek in even on the Sunday night game. There are a lot of people now just saying, I'm going to watch the 1 o'clock game, and I think I'm done.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And if you're in Cleveland, you're wondering if you're going to do that.
Right,
you know?
right.
I mean,
Unless you have somebody on your fantasy team, you may not watch it at all. I mean, that's the way it's come to. It's hard times. Also today, Chris Tye reported it, and he's following up on it tonight at Channel 3 News at 11. The Pilot Flying J trial is going on down in Tennessee, in Chattanooga. And, of course, that's the company that is run by the Haslam family. Jimmy Haslam's the CEO. His brother, Bill, the governor of Tennessee, is also a partner of it. There's been nothing – I mean, this scandal now, it'll be 5 years in April since the FBI raided Pilot headquarters.
April 15th on tax day.
Again, Jimmy Haslam's not involved in this, but a lot of other people – are involved in this in the company, including the president and the director of sales, and people are cutting plea agreements and
let's face it, the unsaid is usually when people are cutting plea agreements, then the prosecutors, and in this case the feds, are trying to go as high up the ladder as they possibly can to get the people that are truly involved in this thing. And as you pointed out accurately, I mean, so far, to the day it happened on that April 15th years ago, there has been no any kind of evidence that there was an involvement or a knowledge or a guidance by Jimmy Haslam himself to make that rebate scandal thing happen. But that's right now.
Right.
Okay. Now, the misnomer is that we all thought that when he paid off those huge fine of like $92 million, and then $85 million to pay off the people who were frauded, that it was all over. But it doesn't seem to be over.
It's not over yet.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's over yet. So I do believe that people, are kind of watching what's going on down in Tennessee to see how that trial plays out.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah, there'll be more tonight. I mean, there's just the tape, and we haven't been able to hear the audio of it, but the contents of a tape that was made by an informant. Basically, the director of national sales for Pilot saying, "Look, truckers aren't sophisticated. They're lazy. We can make this happen in terms of a rebate scam." It's interesting to watch that develop. Now, last thing, and I saw David had this up. I was doing an interview a few minutes ago with NBC Sports Radio, and one of the questions they asked me about was LeBron James, as the Cavaliers victorious last night against the Milwaukee Bucks. Jimmy, had you even ever been aware of the cartoon Arthur?
No.
Yes. Well, LeBron, as you can see on our screen, Instagrammed Arthur making a fist and said one word: move.
Right.
Whenever LeBron does anything on social media, people react because that's the nature of what we do.
Now, a lot of people read into it that Kyrie Irving had come off a 35-point game in Atlanta, I believe, and the Celtics had won their 9th in a row. They go for 10 in a row tonight at home. They take on the Lakers, and that he was reacting to the way Irving's playing, which is out of sight. I watched him Friday night in the game against Oklahoma City, and he was unbelievable. I mean, we know he did what he what he does. I mean, he's unbelievable. The way he can go to the basket and he can score on any kind of shot and at any kind of angle. I've never seen a guy that can play the angles to get his shot the way he does. But he's playing very well. So I don't know. Do you read into that?
No. I think sometimes LeBron trolls just to troll. I truly believe that. And when he senses anxiety, whether it's on the team, locally, in the media, nationally, he'll play off of it. And I love that, Dave McMenamin last night from ESPN asked him, about the he said, do we have it there? Let's hear. This was what LeBron said last night. I think Dave McMenamin of ESPN asked him about, hey, LeBron, what's with the Arthur post?
No, I like Arthur. That's okay, right?
Yeah, I like Arthur. Is that okay? I mean, yeah. Of course. That face right there from LeBron. Looks like he got caught peeking, on a Christmas present. He's like, it's Arthur. I like Arthur. Yeah. But he's done this for years, and even since he's been back here with the fit in, fit out stuff with Kevin Love, and I know he's called out Kyrie. He just does this. Yeah. And I think it's funny with the Kyrie stuff because the Celtics are playing tremendous defense. And Kyrie's a big part of that, and something that, well, let's just say he didn't do much of that when he was here.
No, he couldn't cover a chair.
No.
Here and didn't want to. That's, I will say this. The Eastern Conference in the NBA kind of needs this.
Yes.
Okay, because it's been a one-team show, and it happens to be our team. But it looks like the Celtics are playing, really well. They are playing really well. Now, the longevity of that and the fact that they're not going to get Gordon Hayward back this year, I don't know how that's going to play. But I'll tell you what, they have a great coach.
Yes.
And they now have a phenomenal point guard in Kyrie Irving, and there's no denying that. No matter how he played here or whether he played defense or not, the guy is just an incredible talent, and he's now wearing green. Now, I think if this thing plays out and the Celtics continue to play at a very high level, that would interest me a lot more than the Cavs playing the Raptors or the Cavs playing the Hawks.
Right.
Or, is there another team that's even competitive?
Wizards,
the
maybe?
Wizards, yeah. But see, they've played the Wizards. And, I keep listening to John Wall tell me how the Wizards are overlooked and everything. And every time I look at them, they get beat.
Right.
They went out to L.A. He said he was going to blow that kid, ball up. Yeah. He was going to just wipe him out. Yeah. And they lost the game. He really got all hyped up for the Cavs game.
Yeah, he and Bradley Beal. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Cavs blew him out. Right. They really blew him out. So I don't think it's the Wizards, but the Celtics bring with them a great team now. Yep. A great young coach, and all that history.
Right.
Yeah, all that history.
It's like playing the Yankees.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah, and Kyrie, the start he's off to reminds me of Russell Westbrook last year without Kevin Durant. For one reason or another, it's like he's free. And he can put up big numbers, and he can be the focal point of a team. And whether that parlays into Kyrie winning MVP when the year's over or not, or whatever, we'll see. I don't know, but that's the kind of pace he's on.
We may go
right
back
now.
to the Arthur.
Right, exactly.
He does
like this.
Yeah.
My fist clench and go like this. Unbelievable. All right. On that note, I didn't think we could top Chuckles the Clown, but Arthur apparently has topped it. That's what we do on this show.
This show has become very produced.
Yes, it is.
I'm telling you, it was just two guys hanging out.
I know. It used to be two guys hanging out on my cell phone. Now it's David Herverton just dominating things like he does as our guy. Yeah, that's him. Yeah. That's him. All right, Jimmy, we'll do it again tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, for Jim Donovan, I'm Dave DeNatale. Look at this. Look at this. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Herb is the best. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching on WKYC's Facebook Live.
All right.